Peace and joy, guys. Welcome back to another video, Drumheller Farms. Today we got all kinds of stuff we got to get done on the farm. We got chicks coming in about 2 days, so we got to get the brooder around. We got to get the brooder cleaned out, get everybody situated. Hopefully they come in 2 days, because in 3 days Allyson and I are leaving town for a few days. We've got a trip planned for our anniversary. Got a little surprise on that trip. I think I'm going to be stopping by another YouTuber's farm and doing a farm tour, so stick around for that video. And we got calves coming like any day, man. Like, we should be seeing calves. There's a couple out there. It looks like I'm probably going to see something maybe even tonight. So stick around. Maybe we'll catch that on film here yet today. But come along with me. We got to get round bales out in the pasture, because Steve's going to be feeding hay for us to our cattle. He's going to be taking care of the chickens and kind of running the farm for us for a few days while we're out of town. And I think we're going to have a good time. So come along with me. I appreciate you watching the video. Hit that subscribe button. Let's go have a day on the farm together. All right, right now I got to get this doohickey hooked up here, because I got to move some round bales, and I'm going to use this rig to do so. Guys, this is the New Holland Power Star T475. This is a 2016 model, and this tractor has about 500 hours on it. This is a really nice tractor. I've been really happy with this thing. When I purchased it, I thought I'd probably go back to a green tractor someday, but I don't know, I'm pretty happy with this guy, so I might stick with the blue. Let's go. All right, and as we drive out of here, you can see that's the future home of the grain bins here on Drumheller Farms. I got those blocks delivered the other day. And no, don't worry, we're not going to be feeding our cattle grain on this farm, but that's for the chickens and the hogs. So we do supplement their production with a little bit of non-GMO grain rations. This year we got some custom mixes made by Callenbach Feed Company. So we're going to try them out to see how that works out. Getting low on our hay, which is perfectly fine, because this is the season to get low, right? We're about a week and a half away, would be my guess, from going out to pasture. Now, if you've seen the video a couple weeks ago, I talked about when is the right time to go to pasture, and I had predicted that that cold weather we had coming our way was going to slow down the pasture production by about a week, and it's kind of looking like that's what happened. We didn't really get a whole lot of growth this whole week, really. When we get back from where we're going, which you're going to find that out soon, you're going to see the grass is probably going to make a huge change while we're gone, and when we come back, we should be pretty much ready to go ahead and hit the pastures running. You know, making our quick first round, and then after that we'll be slowing them down a little bit with every pass. hay yard is pretty beat up here. I need to get the skid steer down here and do some grading, but you know, it's either too dry or too wet. I can't ever time it just right to where I need to get in here. We got a ride along here with us. This is Tristan. Tristan, say something in the camera.
Hi.
Tell him peace and joy.
Peace and joy.
Tristan's first time riding in a ag tractor like this. All right guys, we're down here at our second hay yard, and if you've been following along on the channel this year, you know we've been feeding one really nice alfalfa bale and one grass bale every single day. And this is where we're storing our grass bales at, and we're just right down to the end right here. Got a tree branch that fell here, but this is going to work out perfect. Really what's going to happen is we're going to clear the rest of this hay yard out, and it's right at the end of the year, so honestly I couldn't have figured this any better. So we're going to get these bales loaded up. I can finally take down this temporary fence because we don't have cows out here, and this will pretty much be the end of our hay hauling. All right, well, we got all our hay out here for the rest of the time before we leave and while we leave, and then I got about a day or two buffer in there just in case, you know, whatever happens, we don't make it back on time, or we won't have to haul bales as soon as we come home. You can see I got some of this really good, this is like third cutting alfalfa. You can see how nice and green that is. And then I've got first cutting grass hay over here, and it's been working out really well this year, feeding one of each. And they need a little bit more than 2 bales, so every few days I'll give them an extra bale. This heifer right here I'm predicting is going to be one of the first ones to go here. She doesn't have much of a bag, but man, her vulva is just swelled up, getting real loose. You can see she's losing that winter hair coat, so looking a little scaly, but she's also got some liquid coming out of her vulva there, and you can see how loose she is back there. But not much of a bag, but it definitely is filling up. I'm predicting that she's going to be one of the first ones here. Well, we're done hauling hay. We still have a few things to do to get ready for our time away, and one is I got to get this cattle chute, a small corral set up out here. I'm going to make a small corral around this old cattle chute. This is our old cattle chute. We use it now as a spare cattle chute. Works really well, and Steve's going to be running the farm for us while we're gone. I put it up here next to this fence so that I can put a gate right here, and they will be using that water. I'm going to make a little laneway to that water, so if he has to, he could always push a cow down the laneway and just run it right into here. And I'm going to put about a 50 or 60 foot corral system right here, and that's what we're going to do next. The other thing I got to do is this is broke, and this holds that door open. It's a real pain in the butt. You can see the other side I already had to repair, so I'm going to bust that bolt off there and drill that out, and we'll do that next. We're going to try to beat the rain here. Looks like it's going to rain. Come on, 6'6". Looks like it's about to rain here. It's kind of been on and off all day. Man, she is looking ready here. Guys, I gotta show you something else that's really exciting. This multi-species annual, I put in the ground here about 2.5 weeks ago, is sprouting everywhere, and I'll show you that before the day's over. All right, well, we're over at our main corral system and cattle chute here. This is the Herd Pro. This is their top of the line chute. It's got a palpation cage, the whole 9 yards. And this is not the actual permanent setup. We're actually gonna move this over to a cement slab that we have over there and hopefully put a cover over it. And that's gonna be a future video, so stay tuned for that. We also got a set of scales we're gonna hook up. But I'm gonna grab these 2 panels since they're disconnected already. And I already got about 50 foot over there of panels already, so that's gonna help things out a little bit more. And right here, these are like 12 footers.
A croissant.
Do a little repair jobby. What? Didn't mean to do that. Go right through that sucker.
That'll be alright.
This is calling me. Second time he's called me today.
Maybe that means you should answer it.
I think he wants to ask me for something.
Not gonna say.
And I don't have time for it. All right. That works a lot better.
Yep.
Well, we got some sleet coming at us now. So what my thought is, when we leave, we're gonna put the cattle on that last paddock over there. It's about 5 acres, and they'll be there for about a week before we go graze and when we come back, hopefully. As long as this doesn't keep up, and then we're gonna keep using this water, and we'll make a little laneway with that temporary wire around it. And then if he needs to put a cattle, ow, man, that hurts on my ears. If he needs to, what he'll do is he'll run that cattle right down. He can run them right into the chute. He can make this wider, whatever, to create a nice nice corral for him. Man, I don't know where this weather came from. Those little tiny frozen balls from the sky hurt your bare ears, I can tell you that much. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the solar charger on this temporary fence because they have not been respecting this very well, and I really need them to respect it because we got hay bales out here now, and also this multi-species annual mix is starting to grow really well. I don't know how charged this is from sitting all winter, but basically put a ground in the ground. Dorky little hammer, I don't know where it came from. like so. I'm going to prop that up on a bucket or something so it's just not on the ground. It's not good for the battery to be sitting right on the ground. There's a battery inside there, and then this is a solar panel that charges the battery. And you hook this up to the ground. You hook this up to the wire. Then you turn that sucker on. I told you I would show you this multi-species annual mix. You might notice from the other videos, I was keeping cattle in here, keeping them eating this down, this perennial pasture, until I seen some sprouts. And boy, do we see them. Look at the lines. Look at all that coming up. All kinds of stuff. You can see the lines all through there, hopefully on camera. But if you look really hard, you can see them everywhere. And I gotta tell you, I'm so excited because this is the best success I've seen yet out of doing this planting. And it looks to me like this is gonna take right off, and this is gonna be 15 acres of great forage. Look at that. Peas, looks like there's some clover. And whatever this grassy stuff is, I'm not sure what that is. I have to look in the mix and see, but it's all throughout here. Looks like we're finally gonna have some success with that multi-species annual mix, and makes me really excited because, you know, a few $100s and a few labor hours is a big deal, and I want to see something work. All right guys, if you're new to the channel, this is the mobile chicken brooder. Now, if you haven't seen this, I would say take notes, because this thing is sweet. This has been a staple in our chicken operation, our pasture chicken operation. We have brewed up to about 300 chicks in this thing at one time. All right, Allison's got this thing pretty much licked. There's our chicken compost pile. That's where we put all the bedding from all the batches last year. It's pretty well cleaned out. Ready to get a fresh batch of chicks. The main key to this brooder is two factors. One, you're not taking up room in your barn, garage, basement, whatever, because we don't have that kind of room. And two, when your brooding time is up, all you have to do is hook up to this thing, which we do with our buggy there, drive it right out to the pasture, and unload the chicks right out of that side door straight into their tractors. And you'll see that this summer. Actually, you'll see that here in probably about 3 or 4 weeks. But you can also check that out in videos from last summer. Guys, well, this is where we keep our chicken brooder for the summer. I was keeping it up by the garage, and that worked really well for the first batch or two. Then it got a little warm with the sun beating down on it. I do like it being real close up there to the garage. Something that kind of always scared me, if, you know, God forbid, if something did fall in here, one of our heat lamps, which I have them clamped up there, which you're going to see that maybe in this video or in another video. But if something was to happen and the trailer caught on fire, you know, if it was right close to the garage, we'd lose the garage and probably everything else that was in it. Where this way, you know, it's probably just gonna burn itself down, which I hate to even say that or think about that, but it is something you have to take into consideration. But the biggest reason is because we're under this tree, and in the middle of summer, that makes a huge difference being in this shade. And so that's really the main reason. The fire is kind of just a secondary thought more than anything. And I'm gonna be prepared when hopefully Monday we see our chicks. More than likely, I think it's gonna be Tuesday, but either way, as long as it comes before Wednesday. All right, so the last couple things I needed to locate and get around before we leave town was one, pulling chains. So what you can use these for, and you always hope you don't ever have to use them, but I've used these several times and they come in handy. Basically, if you got a calf that's stuck, what you do is you make a loop out of this chain, you wrap it around the front, hopefully the front hooves that come in first, and they've got handles that latch on to the chain. And you've got two of them, two handles. You can use one chain, you can use two chains, whichever is easiest to grab it. And you will pull the calf out with the chains. Nobody ever wants to have to pull a calf. It's something that you don't want to have to do, but you gotta have these to really get a good pull, because everything's so slippery in there and it just doesn't work. Another thing I like to keep handy this time of year is a halter. So this is a halter rope that you can put around the head of the cattle. Don't use this a whole lot with the chutes that we have. The squeeze chutes really take the place of this, but I've had to halter a cow out in the middle of a pasture somewhere and couldn't get her to the chute. With having two chutes and one being able to be moved with a set of forks on the tractor, this doesn't really come into play a whole lot, but it's good to have one on hand just in case. And then when all else fails, and I have not had to use this yet, actually I just put this together for the first time, but this is what they call a pulling jack, okay? Now, this part here will go kind of up under the vulva, near the pelvis, above the hind legs of the cow. And then you do the same thing. You hook up your pulling chains, and then you hook your pulling chains to this hook on both of these. And you jack the calf out of the cow, and this will apply a lot of pressure on the animal to get it out. Another thing I like to keep handy this time of year is some colostrum replacer. If for some reason you lose a mother or you get a cow that won't accept its baby, we are calving several heifers this year. And you know, sometimes they just don't understand that they just had a calf and they need to mother it. And it's good to have some of this on hand to give that calf what it needs to get things going. And then you can put it on a milk replacer and have a bottle calf for the next several months, which isn't very fun either, but it happens. And I've had several bottle calves over the years. I say several, but a few. I appreciate you guys watching the video. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up right now. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, stick around for a while. God bless.